Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. My first race for week 8 of season 1, 2022. Here in the C-Class Fixed Trucks at Chicagoland Speedway. Going out for qualifying, took a couple weeks off from the truck series for a couple different reasons. Feeling like this was a good track for me to come back to. I know it can be a bit of a wide open fest drafting, whatever, but for me, this style of track is definitely a good track for me to run in order to start learning some of my personal, try to reach some of my personal goals and some of the learning development I need to have. So I'm going to try to do the best that I can here to find some pace in qualifying. Car number 21 out of 21, so iRacing has no expectations for me to move up at all, so certainly going to try to do the best that I can to find something. Absolutely blew the entry there in turn 1, just for whatever reason had a brain fart and didn't turn in enough, so probably going to catch a run here through the top side of 3 and 4 again, try to make lap 2 better. It's not too hard to run by yourself with being able to run it wide open. It's going to be a different story in traffic, and I didn't really get a chance to practice it at all, so I'm certainly going to see how the race itself goes, if I'm able to run up with anybody or try to do it. If I don't get to the very front in qualifying, I'm probably just going to lay low, try to conserve some tires, just hang with guys, but not really look to make too many moves outside of avoiding problems, and then try to save tires for the back end of the race if it goes green all the way, and try to enjoy it. So 071's not terrible, not great for me, but not great. You can see it actually only put me in 11th. It's pretty early on. Just wanted to run a little bit, see what steering ratio I want to run, what the tires are going to look like. So I'm going to stay out and try to click off one more lap, and then jump out and look at the tires and see what they are in case I want to keep the steering ratio. I did turn it down to 10 to 1. So not sure if I want to stick with that and just try to drive a little bit smoother on the car, or if I want to go up at all. Typically for me, I would go to 16 to 1 on these larger tracks, but I've been trying to experiment with running lower steering ratios, make it a little bit easier to catch slides, whatnot, than just force myself to use far smaller steering inputs in order to still try to maintain that tire saving. Probably didn't get the car or the truck down to the bottom well enough for qualifying. You can see we're pretty far back, so my guess is it's not going to be a good race for me in terms of pace and where I finish, but just hoping to have a cleaner race. I've tried to get a couple races in already this week, and neither one has ended well. Yeah, about a 10th off the pace for qualifying, so it's probably about where I expect to be.
That's the end of the session, P12.
I don't know, tires don't seem too bad, so I may just go back to the iRacing default and run 12 to 1. 3 cars did not turn time, so it's very possible they could still be faster. Just gonna kind of ride around in the middle, I guess. Draft top 10 would be a decent finish out of this, especially being the 21 truck. Obviously, would love to avoid problems and see if I can climb towards the top 5. That'd be even better, but certainly gonna try to do what I can. But yeah, I tried to get a tour mode race. Made it technically to lap 6. We had a caution coming out of turn 2 on lap 1. Paced most of the way, and then in turn 2 I had somebody wreck right in front of me come down that I couldn't avoid. That ended that race, and then tried to run ARCA at Summit Point and got taken out in turn 1 and did not go well. So I'm going to try to get those in a little later this week, get you guys to see it. Just wanted to get something, try to finally have some fun and see what I could learn. And unfortunately, it obviously didn't go well, so just making sure paint schemes are loaded up. Looks like most of them should be. Get back on me. Get gridded up here. Just gonna try to do the best I can to get a clean race in, have some fun. Try to keep the truck clean. It would be nice to get all 40 laps in without any cautions. It would be great to be able to get it in without any incident points. Get back to that, as safety rating and iRating have taken a bit of a hit in the last day or so of racing on both sides, road and oval. But
81 Fahrenheit.
Certainly just going to do the best that I can. Try to get you guys something good. just try to have some fun as well and see if I can
We need to
improve at
follow
all.
car
Like I said,
number 16.
benefit is being the lowest driver in the split. Not expected to do anything other than finish dead last. So in that sense, as long as I don't finish dead last, I did improve. But obviously, I have much higher aspirations than just not finishing dead last. So want to try to finally figure out, the mile-and-a-half program, especially in these. I'm sure an open setup it might be a little bit different, but I still wouldn't be shocked if it wasn't wide open for a lot of that. But just going to see how the truck handles around traffic, going to be cognizant of if I'm on the inside of anybody getting pulled around with arrow, and certainly going to be trying to do my best to hang with the front group. Pick up spots when I can without pushing the truck too hard and abusing the right side tires, but also just hanging and kind of saving for the first probably 25 laps or so, and then the last 15 trying to push it. That's assuming obviously we don't have a bunch of cautions. If we have a bunch of cautions, that could change the strategy altogether, and it could be just trying to pick up as many spots off the restart as I can. So pace car is going to be getting ready to pull off. Leader is going to be pulling in.
Okay, Jake, get ready.
Be getting ready to roll. We are off. Just gonna hang here to the outside. You see a lot of guys go to the bottom. That's gonna be something to watch for as people come back on the track. Got it clear. The 11 is the first truck behind me, so just gonna work my way down to the bottom now. Probably gonna hang to the bottom side for most of the race unless we feel like there's a better run on the high side to get by somebody. Kinda gonna breathe the throttle just a little bit, make sure I get through the first corner okay. And you can see the 16 is already starting to look to the inside of the 18. I'm not going to worry about diving all the way to the bottom yet. Just going to hang up here above the apron. I'm just going to ease the truck in. Being back here with the draft will help the run quite a bit compared to the guys up front that are having to run wide open. So don't see any reason to get on top of somebody's bumper this early on. Ease back with the 16. 16 looked like he was going to dive a little bit more. He didn't quite, so that's going to allow the 11 to get a good run on me. He's probably going to go to the high side, and if he decides to dive, then I'll just let him have it. 16 kind of looked like he wanted to look to the, or 11 looked like he wanted to look to the inside. I hesitated to turn in because I thought he was looking there, so that's kind of why that created that bit of that confusion, but just going to sit here and try to catch the draft with the 16. You can see the big run, have to lift there. Again, I'm not really looking to get too aggressive too early on and try to fight too hard for positions. Perfectly fine with running 12 here still. 16's a little bit slower into the corner than I am, but I've got the benefit of the draft, so that could be part of that. Just kind of have to watch. Might be one of those where I finally have to take a run. 11's going to look to the inside, just going to hang high, let him go. Just going to hurt the tire a little bit more on the high side, but certainly no reason to really contend too hard with him. Just going to hang up now. 11 should eventually get the run to the inside of me. High side should provide a little bit of a run off, so it's going to certainly be harder on my tires. Not something I really want to deal with, but kind of just content with riding here. 16's not going to go to the bottom this time, so I'm going to try to get to the bottom on him, clip the apron just a little bit. It's going to give the outside line the run. 12's going to look to my high side as well. I'm just going to stay here. 11's going to look to the outside as well. Not sure if we're going to go 2 or 3 wide in the lead one. Just kind of lifting so that I don't get too much of a run on the 16. 12 is going to cut down in front of me. Looks like we might be headed towards the back. I'm just not driving aggressive enough right now on the start, so I don't know if it's a better strategy in terms of tire saving to not be driving aggressive, or if everybody else has got this figured out and I'm just going to be falling back. Just going to keep hanging in here. We are technically getting a run on the 16 as well, but I'm at the mercy of however fast the 12 is going to be into the corner, so just got to make sure I stay off of the 2 on the high side, the 16 and 11, as well as stay off of the 12. Just going to stay behind him here on the front stretch, no reason, or the back stretch, excuse me, no reason to get too aggressive and make it 3 wide this early. Get a little too hard into the corner there in terms of wearing out the right front. Kind of stuck in this mid-pack battle. You can see the 16's falling back from the lead pack, so might be one of those that if I let this go too long, I may not ever have a shot to catch back up to these guys, so just need to hang here, do what I can. 12 looks like he's a bit slower. The high side's been getting the run. I'm trying to get the 7 by me, see if I can get by the 12 on the high side now. So the 11 and the 16 have both pulled away. I get into the high side of the 12 and going by, so I hang to the outside, see if I can follow the 7 up through the 12. Of course, now the 7's probably going to stall out, and I'm just going to be constantly picking the wrong lane. This kind of feels a bit like a super speedway race in a sense, even though it's not. Just kind of got to pick the right line to go with. Still running a bit of side-by-side racing up front, so you know, plenty of opportunities for either incidents to happen or chance to try to catch back up to them the longer they run side by side, but certainly need to try to close up the gap and find my way back up there. 7 seems to be committed to that high side. I'm gonna watch that. I'll easily drop with them down the straightaways, but I think I want to get back to the low side in the corners. I would need to take a bit of a wider arc into the corners than what most people are taking. Car's definitely tightening up. I can feel like I've torched the right front because I was not able to turn in that time. That's going to allow the 13 to get a really good run on me down front stretch. 8's going to dive down to the bottom as well. 8 will be too far back to do anything, but I'm going to have to stay to the high side with the 13, taking the inside line. Just trying to do my best to... This is the stuff that's been happening lately. I cut down, but the 13 just did not do a good job staying off of me, and now my race is done because the truck is just trashed. This is the stuff that's been happening lately, and I'm sorry for getting frustrated, but it's happened in so many races, and it just sucks to have the possibility to run better than where I'm at, and that kind of stuff happens. I'm creating a lot of these problems, but I mean, it's also frustrating that guys are not doing a better job of staying off of each other. That's just super frustrating. So I can understand if you guys don't want to watch anymore because of me venting, as well as now I'm going to be so far off the pace since aero matters here. Yeah, just going to ride around and hope that we have a caution at some point. That's going to be my only shot to do anything. So quite a bit ahead of the 12 at least. Doesn't look like he should be catching us. It's time to ride and hope for a caution, I guess. We'll review it afterwards and see if I came down or if 13 came up. I think 13 came up personally. I can understand a little bit, but I can't pin myself against the wall as well and stay glued to that the entire time just because you want to wash all the way up the track. But there's got to be some onus on the guy on the inside to also make sure that they do a good enough job to stay off. And by the time he came up, I had no way to hit the brakes and back out of it. I was getting clipped one way or the other. Just frustrating how this has gone. It feels like it's been a big giant waste to race at all when all this stuff's been going on. Just cannot catch brakes in any series I've been running the last probably 4 races or 5 races. No pressure from the 12, he's fallen way off. We've also fallen way off the 15, so it's going to take a big wreck taking out a bunch of trucks in order to have any shot at picking up spots. And if that caution comes out, I'm still going to be headed to pit road to try to get as much of this repaired as I can. So it's going to be hoping and praying. I guess something good could happen. I know the last time I ran at Dover and got damaged and had issues, there ended up being a tire saving strategy that helped me, but I don't think that's going to be the case in this one. I think it's just going to be a 20th place finish. At this point, for me, since I got the 2X for the contact and the 2X behind when I ran into while I was trying to get the car off the wall, it's just all going to be about running clean laps and trying to help the safety rating if I can, or at least basically minimize how much I lose. Not sure if I'm going to run another one of these. I doesn't really feel worth it. I mean, I would love one for redemption, but it's not like I'm running for points or anything in that sense, and I've got other stuff that I want to run, so maybe one of those if I have time before the end of the week, then I'll get another one in, but I highly doubt it. And I don't typically like to show you guys the same thing over and over again either. So, feel bad you guys are getting to see what is a glorified practice session by myself now, but try to do what I can to make it entertaining. Like I said, I'm just staying out here to grind out safety rating and just hope that there's some sort of caution. And we'll review the incident afterwards, but yeah, so plan for the rest of the week is to run Tour Mod Open, SK Open, late model fixed, ARCA, which is going to be rough because I'm absolutely terrible at stock cars on road courses, but it should be somewhat fun if I can try to figure out how to get around it consistently. SK or ARCA. What else am I looking at running? Some form of a road course, whether it's going to be Spec Racer Ford or Rookie MX-5 or something. That one truck that has a problem there, the 20 has a problem, so able to get by him, which moves me up to, will move me up to 19th. Looks like the 9 also has some problems, so this is why I stayed out here, try to take advantage of anybody that does have problems. I can try to pick up a spot or two. We should help move me into 18th now, so a couple spots better than where I originally thought I'd be running. Looks like the 20 is staying out, only the 9 went into pit road. I'm guessing the 9 might have had a meatball and 20 didn't. But yeah, so probably one dedicated road series, whether that's Spec Racer Ford or Rookie MX-5, something else. And then just gonna kind of see what I want to fill in the other one with, whether I want to do Advanced Legends again, try that. They were at Thompson this week. If I want to do something different, I don't know if I want to try B-Class fixed here. If I want to throw something else in, I'm not really 100% sure what that last one's going to be, or when I'm going to decide to do that. So just have to stay tuned and see what I come out with. I think the plan right now is you'll see this one today, and then probably guessing probably ARCA tomorrow. I think I'm going to try to get that one done. Watch a couple guys. I know Colton's posted one, Gavin's posted one. I think I'm going to watch those two, kind of learn a little bit more, see what those guys are doing different, since they're much better at road racing than I am. Probably get ARCA out tomorrow, and then probably Tour Mod Thursday, late model Friday, maybe SK Saturday. Just some sort of combination like that. So hopefully going to try to get this turned around, get this week of bad luck turned around, get it headed in the right direction, get you guys some more exciting races to watch. I hate showing races where I get involved in stuff, especially so early on, that takes me out of contention for anything. It's not fun. At least the Simlab Production Car Challenge had a battle for most of the race, and then the incident happened right towards the end, so at least you got to see most of the race of, you know, some decent racing and something fun. This one sucks because it was so early on that happened, and then, you know, it didn't go well after that. But yeah, like I said, I try to be as real with you guys as I can, so you can see the ups and downs, you know, everything that really goes on with it. You know, I'm just your average person running this that has aspirations of becoming better and is not quite to that level yet. So you know, this is kind of what's gonna happen. You're gonna see roller coasters in the iRating. I know I always want to try to gain every single race and make progress, and you know, as I feel like I learn things, I feel like I should be able to do that, and I can't all the time. But it's also, while this is simulation, it still has the aspects of real racing in terms of the luck factor, and you're going to go through bad stretches, things aren't going to go your way. You're also going to have great stretches where you get all these amazing finishes and you feel like, you know, nobody can touch you, you can't be beat. So it's certainly something to take with stride. Hopefully can go back, look at that incident, and see that it wasn't really my fault and that there wasn't much I could have done differently, and just try to learn what I can from it. Just take comfort in that I was driving pretty well overall and move on to the next one. So 14 to go next time by. We're just under a third of the way left, so trying to get this done as quickly as I can. Truck's just so far off the pace, tires are wearing, but then without the draft and with all the front end damage I have, I can't really get it to do much, and I'm pretty sure I probably got some internal engine damage as well. So I think my only goal right now is to keep it out of the wall. Just looked in a little bit because the right front feels like it's starting to go, so I'm trying to make sure that I don't lose that, and trying to see if I can actually catch the 9 at all to use the draft, just to try to help lap times a little bit. You can see leaders popping up on the relative now, about 15.5 seconds back, so we'll take a look at that, see what that gap looks like, if I'm going to be getting lapped before the end of the race. I really hope I'm not. So if I'm staying out here to run safety rating, then that extra lap technically would help, because that's 4 more corners than I would have had. But if the leader gets there because I'm that far off the pace, I'm certainly not going to stay in the way of the leader. No reason to affect that battle at all. One side, I feel like maybe these time slots that I run in that are different are causing some of this, but on the other side, I feel like I'm going to see, you know, drivers making mistakes like that regardless of what time slot I run. It's going to happen. So kind of just how it's been, unfortunately. Looks like leader gained about half a second to 6/10 that lap, so if that stays consistent, certainly not going to be going a lap down before the end of the race. Catching up the draft at 9, looks like we got some smoke. Looks like the 5 might be off pace, so we'll see if that's another spot that we could potentially get. Not sure how much damage he's going to have. Try to use the draft at 9 to slingshot through turret 1. I had to lift there to make sure I didn't push up in the 9. Didn't want to do the same thing that I got angry about earlier. Looks like we should be able to go by the 5, so should be another spot there that I wasn't planning on. So the 17th, still going to be losing iRating most likely, but I just keeping it clean and trying to pick up some spots. So it's all I can ask for at this point. 10 to go now. Only 3/4 of the race. 3/4 of the way through the race, so there is still potential for somebody else to have problems. It's going to require obviously something pretty big that causes a lot of damage, like the 5 had, that they fall back all the way, because the closest car is the 16, who is 5 seconds ahead. So it's going to require some pretty serious damage and somebody having to go to pit road or being really slow. But I didn't expect to pick up 3 spots like I did, so it's certainly possible still. Just continuing to run my line, just click off clean laps as best as I can. Right front's going to be absolutely trashed by the end of this race. We'll take a look at the percentage just to see what it looks like, but I'm sure I've not been very kind to it. Mine looks like he might have almost gotten into the wall on the backstretch out of 2. Not really worried about him. Just taking my time running around. You can see we're running about the same pace as the 16. Just, you know, way too much of a gap to be able to close up. So, again, I think the only way I'm going to get any sort of spots is by having people wreck, but I'm going to prefer for it to be a wreck that does not bring out a caution. But even if we get a caution at this point, I'll certainly be going to pit road to try to repair damage as best as I can. I don't think it would be worth it to try to stay out and be that much slower compared to the rest of the pack and then get plowed over. That would just be irresponsible on my part to try to pull that kind of strategy move, even though in theory it could potentially work to gain me at least 1 spot. That would be a very irresponsible and unsafe thing to do. Looks like the battle for the lead could be closing up. 1 could be tightening up to the 6 by a good bit. 6 at one point had like a 4/10 of a second lead. Now it looks like it's down to about 2/10, so that easily could be closing up. 6 to go this time by, clicking off the laps. I stupidly clicked the wall, thankfully no incident points, so gotta minimize that if I want to try to have any shot at breaking even on safety rating. 16 starting to pull away a little bit. That's, like I said, not really much of a concern because I was never going to be able to catch him. And there's only so much I can do in terms of lap times. No pressure from the 9 behind either, pulled away from him, so just back to my own little bubble where I don't see anybody out front and I don't have to worry about anybody behind. This race is kind of boring when you're running on your own and basically running wide open the entire time. I mean, I'm feathering the throttle off into the corner to avoid pushing up, but it's overall pretty boring to run this way. But it's the ebbs and flows of racing, and it's what I got to do to keep grinding towards the goals overall. It'll turn around eventually.
Last lap was at 33.25.
But almost done with the race. Gonna have 3 laps to go this time by. Sun's starting to go down a little bit. Chances of picking up any more spots are looking pretty slim, but I guess there could always be something that happens on a last lap move. I guess nice to see a race that went all green with no cautions that was a C-Class series or higher. That's been a while since I've had that happen. I know that super late model race only had 1 caution, that was pretty clean, but it's been a while since I've had a green flag, all green flag race, so maybe the racing here this week will be pretty clean for everybody and pretty fun as long as you can avoid, something like that happening. I guess that's also kind of just the way that the brakes can fall when you're this close on speed. Everybody's running wide open, trying to get all they can. It certainly can cause some problems. Looks like we have 1 person disconnect, so able to pick up 1 more spot up to 16th. So another free spot that's kind of cheap, but hey, I'll take whatever spots I can get at this point. It's just nice to do what I can. It was part of why I decided to stay out here. So I'll be coming across to get the checker this time be done. And unfortunately failed at some of the goals, but I feel like some of it was kind of out of the control, not really much I could do, so.
P16, that's the end of the race. Bad luck, mate.
Bring it to a stop on the backstretch. And like I said, I'll take a look at tire order, see how bad that was, and then we'll take a look at the incident there and see if there was anything I could have done. So we're definitely, like I said, I felt like I trashed that right front. You can see that 68, 87 is not good. There was definitely a lot of ways I could have avoided that, but had a pretty beat up truck there. So gonna flip here to first lap. We'll find the problem. Alright, so we'll come back. You're gonna see the 13. I'm actually a lap behind where it happened, but I kind of want to focus on this as being the leading up to it. You can see I'm just trying to catch back up to the 7, not really trying to run anything too aggressive. I pushed up. I thought I could run in full throttle there and pushed up, so that opened the door for the 13. He almost made contact with me getting a run out of the corner. I saw him go to the bottom, so I took the line to the apron. Didn't do anything to pinch him there, was recognizing that he was there, was trying to give him the entire bottom lane. Oh no, that's just 100% on him washing up. Like there's not even a any part of me turning down there. Sends an apology, appreciate to him, for doing that. You can see I'm basically keeping myself even with the same, and you can see him coming all the way up. So I don't know. I don't know if he thought he was clear. I don't know if he didn't see me in the relative, if he's kind of like me on a single monitor and didn't see it. As soon as we made contact, I was along for the ride. I had nothing I could have done at that point. Like you can see at this point, we're gonna have the contact. I'm gonna get sent up. Got out of it. Tried to get into the break as best as I could. Tried to save it, and then was just I was done for regardless. So. I appreciate apology from the 13 there. Doesn't do much to help with the finish, but it is what it is. And then got sent off the wall, tried to correct it, and that's when the 12 just came in blasting into the back. So fortunately, that caught me the extra 2x, which that's just iRating safety rating system. There's not much. Again, when I get slammed in the wall, I'm trying to save it, and car hit the wall, shot off, or the truck hit the wall, it shoots back down. I'm trying to get it back to the right, and it snapped, and just trying to save it, and unfortunately just get plowed into from behind. So really nothing I could do there. Just real unfortunate situation. So again, appreciate the apology from him. I know that I've done the same thing to people and send an apology, and it does little to make them feel better, but I at least appreciate the respect out of that. That apology goes a long way to how I feel about somebody going forward. So certainly, if I run with him in the future, I'm going to try to keep it as clean as I can around him. But take a look at the results. They're not going to be very pretty at all. It was top split 35-48, so not crazy strong, but definitely strong strength of field for me. Could have been a great opportunity to try to take advantage of it and get a good solid finish out of it. But unfortunately, cars were just not meant to be. I feel like every time I get in one of these, I end up choking, whether it's something stupid I do or something else happens. It just sucks. But one of these days, I'll get it right. So, lap times don't really matter. Didn't really have the draft. Couldn't really run anything. So kind of hard. Felt like I was really behind the 8 ball the whole way and was trying to work my way back up to the group. I think the was it the 12? I don't know. One of them was pretty slow. We tried to get by, but managed to only lose 16 in iRating. So those spots definitely helped out a little bit. So just under 2550, got a long way to get that back up, and managed to gain 0.06. So safety rating is really low, but nice to just have that headed back in a positive direction despite the contact out of that. So super frustrating. Nothing I can do. Feel free. I think the analysis is pretty cut and dry, but you can let me know your feedback or if you would have done anything different. So with that, hopefully you guys enjoyed something out of that, got some sort of entertainment or educational value out of it. And hopefully races going forward, I can get you guys a little bit of cleaner starts and a little bit better runs overall. So stay tuned for more. And until the next one, hopefully all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.